right, let's check this out. In Japan, we covered all the major news. Here we covered the Epstein stuff. There's a lot of news, but a lot of it's depressing, okay? There's chaos and there's unrest and there's revolutions and there's declining prices and there's stock market problems and whatever. But you know what's actually interesting and fun? Gaming news. And Steam just announced the Steam Machine. And I think this is gonna upend the entire gaming market, so I wanted to watch it.
This is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere.
Well, we know this one. Like I said, this is a real gateway drug of a product. In that my wife didn't really play any like non-mobile game until Animal Crossing. And when she played that, she became more of a quote unquote console gamer. And then recently she got a Steam Deck and now she's like grinding through Heat 32 on Hades 2 and playing Blueprints and playing Expedition 33. She's like an honest to God hardcore gamer. She's addicted to the Steam Deck.
Today, we're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with power.
You do the iPhone, and it's all one thing. It's all, it's all the Gabe machine, and it fits every thing in one, and you just wear it on your body, and you never stop gaming.
Powerful PC gaming. This is the new Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever.
So I've seen this. It looks kind of ugly. I'm sorry. It reminds me of like the original Duke of the Xbox, the original Xbox. It looks chunky. I don't know. I'm sure it feels nice, and I'm sure those little track pads are useful, but they are off-putting. I'll be honest with you. There is some part of me that just wants to take all these controllers and every controller and throw it into a meat grinder. And then pass out keyboards and mice and say, you have to use these. I'm sorry, it's not your choice. There is a part of me that wants to do that. I don't like controllers as much as I like keyboard and mouse. And I know that I'm on the losing side of history.
Whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine.
God damn!
Oh, this is the new Steam Machine.
Okay, here it is. The Steam Machine.
Steam
AKA
Machine is a powerful.
the Gabe Cube. This is actually a really big announcement. This is like a kind of an earth-shaking new entry into the console wars that haven't been shaken up in a while. They're playing it off like, oh, here's our cute little thing, but this is like a really big move by Valve into an area that they have not competed in yet. And it's got everyone else on notice.
It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck.
All right, so it is what they say. It's more powerful than a Steam Deck, obviously 6 times, but it is slightly weaker than Series X is the good one. Series S is the bad one. It's better than Series S, weaker than Series X, and weaker than PS5, but slightly. You know, it's like right around the Series X PS5 level.
Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want. And it works with all your favorite desktop and
really
gaming
cool.
accessories.
But the big question on that, obviously, they said on social media, yeah, it's your PC. We're not gonna tell you what to do with it. You can install what you want. But the real question is, will it be able to play like League of Legends? Because it's SteamOS. It can't play anything that has its own like launcher. You can install Windows to do that. Can you install Windows on a Steam machine? You have to jailbreak it or something, right? I don't think it's gonna let you do that. They said you explicitly can. It can explicitly play like a Riot-launched League of Legends. It's a PC. Yeah, but it's a PC with SteamOS on Linux, right? So you swap OS, not a virtual machine. People are being pretending you're someone who's want to do that. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking it's not going to be as simple as people say. I think a market they're trying to target is being a more budget-friendly work PC that runs Linux and most workflow apps. I don't think this is a work PC at all. That's not a market no, this is a gaming PC. 99% of people buying a Steam machine are going to use it for gaming and gaming only. It's going to be a console competitor. That's the vast majority of the buyers. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's not going to be used for work. 99% of buyers will be buying it as a console competitor to plug and play on their couch for their TV. But it can have PC capabilities. It's like the incompatibility with that as an option, if it sells well enough, it's going to force more people into the Steam ecosystem. Honestly, it's not going to be like people can be like, just use their Steam PC to play whatever. It's going to be like everyone is going to have to start getting on Steam or including themselves in Steam to run easily on the popular console. That's way more likely than everyone just dual booting. It's a PC, bro. People saying it's a PC are dumb as fuck, because the difference between a console, consoles are PCs, basically, okay? It's not about what it is. It's about what problem it solves. A console solves the problem for the majority of gamers of plug and play, controller-based gaming on a couch. That is what it is solving. It's not about whether it's a PC or it's not. It has a gaming OS and they want a plug and play solution. That's what this is. So it is a console competitor. It's not just a PC. This is a console competitor. Valve would like to compete with consoles. So they are creating a solution for the majority of gamers who don't like the difficult parts of PC gaming, which is keyboard and mouse, installing things, understanding how PCs work. They don't like any of that. So they created the SteamOS to make it very functional and easy. And they have a plug and play, plug in controller solution. That is what they're doing. If you think otherwise, you are wrong. I don't know how to tell you. That is what 99% of buyers will use it for. That is what it is about. That's why it exists. And so it is like a business move on their part to get out from under Windows' thumb. Look, I'll give you a little backstory because we'll watch the rest of this, but there's a little backstory. Let me give you a little backstory. 2012, Gabe Newell says, I think Windows 8 is a catastrophe for everyone in the PC space. This is when Microsoft is at the height of their power. 2012. Xbox 360 is dominating the console space. Windows 8 is completely locked down gaming. There is no competitor in gaming for PC gaming. Gabe Newell sees this coming and realizes long-term, if they don't find a way outside of Windows' thumb, then they're always gonna have to, kowtow to them. So they begin a plan in 2012. Again, by the way, this is the height of Microsoft power. Xbox 360 is at its peak. This thing had red rings of death on 50% of consoles and still won the war. This is a great console. This was dominant. They had incredible games. They were well marketed. They were the lower cost product and they got out early. They were the early release. These are all the big things to win a console generation, by the way. PS3 outsold it by the end, but the attach rate of Xbox 360 was really high. It was a very successful console, okay? And so when you begin this war of SteamOS versus Windows, now this is in 2012. This shit didn't work at first. They launched the Steam machine in 2013, not launched, but they announced it. They had PC Gamer testing this shit in 2013. It was part of their plan to create a new OS outside of Windows so they could completely break from Microsoft's monopoly. So they could have total ownership of the platform, the game, the customers, okay? However, these things kind of sucked. The technology wasn't there to create a affordable, all-in-one box that played the games they want, did what they want, and could sell to customers. They weren't that good at the hardware. They hadn't figured it out. So this thing was a flop. Like all the early prototypes weren't well reviewed, and they ended up canceling it by 2018, okay? For like 5 years, they tried to make this shit work. They had some partners like Alienware and Asus who made these Steam machines. They didn't sell well, it didn't work, and they canceled it. But they never stopped working on it in the back end. And finally, the SteamOS had a breakthrough with the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck was actually successful, and that was their first thing of breaking out of Microsoft's monopoly. The SteamOS, their entirely run OS, people could buy a consumer product, play the games on it through Steam platform, and Microsoft didn't even touch any of it. It was a big breakthrough. And then they realized they got hungry. They got the fire in their eyes. And they realized they don't have to just take handhelds, they could take the whole damn market. Because there is one sickly gazelle in the console wars right now. Switch 2 is front of the pack, selling great. PS5, front of the pack, selling great. Healthy gazelles. You know who's in the back of the fucking pack? Limping, antlers broken. It's the fucking Xbox. The Xbox is doing horribly. Sales are down 29% in this past year. They have been completely trunched by the PS5, and they've been trying all sorts of random haphazard things to try and regain some momentum, like this marketing campaign where everything's an Xbox, which kind of worked because the one bright spot for Xbox was Game Pass, but then they raised Game Pass prices 50%. I think Steam is seeing an opportunity. They are seeing that the big duopoly of like mainline console games has one really weak gazelle at the end of the pack, and they're going to kill him and move in. I don't think PS5 is particularly threatened, although it is a problem that so many of their exclusives are on PC, and now because they're on PC, they can be on the Steam Deck, and Switch is not really threatened at all. But the big threat here is Xbox, who's about to be fucking slaughtered. Again, Xbox also had their own handheld, which launched at $999. You know, they're just having a huge problem with prices. They're having a huge problem with exclusivity. They're having a huge problem with feeling behind the curve. Steam has been looking stronger than ever. They launched this. They have their new console to rival Xbox and PlayStation. It is a console. Let's just be honest. This is a console. Call it a PC, call it you want, but it solves the problem of a console. And dude, I saw this headline. An increasingly delusional Microsoft desperately tries to tell everyone they're PCs and Xbox now. That is just true. Dude, Microsoft seems increasingly fucking delusional. Really, it's all been downhill since that original Xbox One announcement. Ever since that Xbox One announcement where they talked for 2 hours about how you can watch TV and the Kinect and shit, they've been steadily downhill. But now it's felt like they're like circling the drain. Like the momentum is totally gone. They're kind of spiraling, and Valve is coming in for the kill. This thing is going to be a threat, a real threat. Now there's like new rounds of console hardware coming. They're already pretty old, and this is weaker than them. So there is something to be said for that, but it's going to come out, I think, at a competitive price point and have the entire Steam library, a now polished SteamOS, and a catchy name, the Gabe Cube. Like, I actually think this is like the precursor to Xbox getting out of hardware. They might pivot to just being a software supplier and a cloud supplier on other people's hardware. I don't know. I think they'd be in real trouble at the rate their sales are going. Now, they have leaked. Things are forever changing as they prepare their own Xbox PC. So it's not like Xbox isn't doing something similar, but man, now that we're doing console PC hybrids, would you rather be Xbox or would you rather be Steam? Who's bringing more to the table? Like, do you think Steam can learn how to be a console faster than Xbox can learn how to be a PC? I think Steam's bringing massive library, storefront, connections, friends list. You know what I'm saying? They're bringing more to the table, I think, than Xbox is. We'll see. I mean, they're trying to turn into each other fast as possible. It's called Xbox Magnus, by the way. And what they're going for is powerful and expensive. So I do think that the Steam machine is going to be well positioned to do kind of what the Xbox 360 did, which is release first, release cheaper, get a big install base, and then win off of low cost in games rather than power and price, especially given what we're in for an economy right now. I think a cheaper, affordable, all-purpose thing is going to be better than a powerful, expensive Xbox PC hybrid. Is it actually $1,500? Let's see. The Xbox Magnus is going to be pretty expensive. I think it'll cost more than $800. I don't think it needs to cost more than $1,200. Nobody knows the price of either of these things, but I would estimate that it's going to be a lot more expensive than the Steam machine. And people are going to have to make that call. But what's interesting about the Steam machine is all they have to do is get an install base. Like, I think the Steam machine is going to be cheaper than you guys think, because once they get an install base of Steam machine, SteamOS users, people that are on Steam, use Steam to buy games, use Steam for friends list, then all of a sudden they can open that up to other console creators. So they can have Asus make a high-end Steam machine, or Alienware, or whatever. They can make variants that are more expensive to play more expensive games, or play higher end settings games. But you're all on the SteamOS. The way it is for PC gamers, where we can't switch to Epic Game Store or any other store because we've used Steam for so long, if they can get console gamers on that, then they're hooked forever. Then they've got them for fucking life. And they don't even need to be the one making the console. Making the console's not where the money is. It's the fucking store. I guess from a business move perspective, this is a really smart killer blow from Gabe Newell to, after 10 plus years, strike back at Windows and Microsoft when they're finally weak. I think it's a smart move. I think it looks to be pretty strong for the moment. Now, people do really like Gabe Newell, even no ethical billionaires people. They like him, but I do think it is a little crazy how much. I think this is a smart, well-reasoned, ruthless business move, and it's exciting. It's like, it's cool, and for gamers, if you like Steam, I'm actually not so worried about them abusing this so much while Gabe is alive, because it looks like Gabe has found a way to enjoy his $500 million super yacht with a LAN cafe on it. Without pissing off all his customers, which is a true balance, and I'm impressed with that. But once he's gone, the next guy's gonna want a more expensive yacht and will have to fuck over customers. So I'm worried about that in the long term. But for now, I'm happy that Microsoft threw so many billions at trying to dominate gaming and cloud, and instead is probably gonna lose them both. To me, that's very funny. I think it's very funny that Microsoft threw an absurd amount of money that no one else could spend and is now getting their shit kicked in. I think that's nice, but obviously, you know, it just creates another threat with Valve down the road. But for now, I will celebrate it. And I'm excited about the Steam Machine launch. Let me also watch the end of this video.
This is Steam Frame.
This I don't super care about. I think VR is just still not there yet, but it's cool. I guess I do like about it is that, you know, much like kicking Microsoft when they're down, it's also kicking Meta when they're down. Because at the end of the day, I think it's seeming more and more to me that the store front of Steam and the friends list of Steam are two nuclear bombs that no one else can match. And Valve can just attach more things to those things rather than no one else can recreate those things. So like if you're gonna play VR games, even if for whatever reason Valve had worse hardware than the Meta Quest or it was a worse price or whatever, they're gonna win in the long term because that's where you wanna buy your games. Like the Steam storefront is actually like an unassailable fortress. And that's if they had worse hardware. I think they have better hardware, but like I'm just saying that I think everyone's kind of waking up to that fact. And it's gonna make them quite dominant in gaming in a way that I think the big tech companies thought they could just muscle around. Steam, you know, for all, whatever faults you have with it, has made a truly competitive marketplace that has allowed indie devs to thrive. You can't argue that. Like more so than almost maybe any storefront for gaming ever, indie devs can make serious money and get discoverability on Steam. And so if you flash back 10 years, that doesn't matter so much because there's not that many indie games. But the indie game market has only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and more powerful. And now the result is, it's kind of like how YouTube is slowly beating Netflix. It's because YouTube has created the space, the competitive marketplace, for everyone to make their own content. Eventually that amount of content is getting big enough and more polished enough to take all this time away from Netflix. And I think it's happening with Steam and all these other walled gardens. Steam just has such an overwhelming amount of well-priced great indie titles, basically UGC almost, that it's overwhelming what you can pay for on exclusives.
So getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed.
Some guy said no Fortnite Omega lol, no Fortnite Omega lol, no Fortnite. I guess that's true. You know what? And we have to balance that. Because there is no Fortnite Omega lol. And perhaps Gabe Newell's yacht will sink when he realizes that you can't drop in risky reels when you buy the Steam machine. This could be a real problem.
Steam controller, Steam machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is
this is a big deal. This is a big deal. What they're not saying is Windows. What they're not saying is Microsoft. And that's the first time that's been the case for PC gaming, pretty much ever. That's since my entire life. I mean, they've completely broken out. You could do console, VR, and mobile all through Steam. It's a scary thing for Microsoft because Microsoft thought they had PC gaming on lock forever and thought, why don't we get greedy and take consoles too? And now they're about to lose consoles and they might lose PC gaming. Like long term, not short term, but long term, this could like start cutting into their, like they overstepped. It's crazy.
Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Cool. Yeah, big announcement. I think it's very interesting. As long as Steam is a private company and they can make their own decisions, I feel okay with it. But man, if Valve ever goes public, they have a lot of power, bro. It's crazy.